Hello, who are you and where are you from?
My name is Tiffany, and currently I reside in San Diego, California.
All right, and you were saying before the interview that you grew up somewhere else?
Yeah, I'm originally from Southern Illinois.
All right, and then what do you do?
What do I do? Currently I'm at the dog park with my dog, but other than that, I have a full-time job as a mental health sales associate for a tech company.
Oh, very good. Has the climate changed much since you were a kid?
From what I can tell, based off reports from my parents who are still in Illinois, it seems like things are getting a little bit more extreme during the winter times. Winters feel either longer or they're maybe interspersed with random hot days, and then it goes back into these drastic swings, back into super cold. So in terms of Illinois, I think maybe things have been changing because as a kid I don't really remember it being so back and forth.
And how long have you been in San Diego?
I've been in San Diego for about almost 8 years.
Okay, so there's been a period of drought here, and then
Yes.
last winter was...
The longest winter ever, it felt like.
Why?
Well, it was a really, really wet winter. So in addition to it just being rainy all of the time and cold all the time, it felt like it lasted from like September through still now, which it's May right now. But finally starting to feel warmer, but definitely in my last 8 years, this has been what's felt like the longest winter.
You're still wearing kind of a jacket.
I will always be wearing a jacket. I'm always cold.
And so then what about on an everyday basis, are you that concerned about climate change? And say on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most concerned, where would you put yourself?
I'd say I'm a 10. I don't see the effects of it necessarily day to day, but I know that that's not how climate change really manifests. So I'm definitely concerned about the future of humanity in terms of how climate will be changing over time and how that affects weather patterns. We didn't really plan for a lot of climate change when we built our cities, and even in San Diego there's already areas that have seen the effects of sea level rising, so that's kind of scary.
By flooding?
Flooding, also when there's like king tides, which are like really, really high tides, we see some flooding there. There's an entire community down in the South Bay called Imperial Beach that is subject to flooding because they're kind of built on like a marsh wetland area. So that's concerning, especially when what's top of mind for a lot of people is the real estate in San Diego being a coastal community that's a really desirable place to live. On the west side, we're bound by the ocean. On the north side, we're bound by Camp Pendleton, which is like a military base. On the east side, we're bound by mountains, and on the south, we're bound by Mexico. So this is a really desirable place to be with very limited geography and space to build, because there's also canyons everywhere which are difficult to build in. So with sea level rise kind of encroaching on our real estate space, that is just going to jack up housing prices even further, which is a no good sign for those of us who are regular old people out here trying to make a living.
And also, finally, what about the future? Are you an optimist or a pessimist? Is there anything we can do about it?
I definitely think there are things that we can do about it. I would say that I'm more of an optimist, but slightly pessimistic with what I know. And I think what we can do, I don't think that it necessarily boils down to individual contributions. Like, yes, we can all do our part, and I think that we should, but ultimately it's going to come down to legislation and really demanding from the corporations and companies that are contributing the most to climate change to really clean up their act.
Very good. Hey, on what's today's date?
What is it? I think it's May 10th.
May 10th here, right off of Balboa Park. What's the name of this park?
This is Nate's Place.
Nate's Place.
Point Dog Park, and Balboa Park's just right over there. You can see the tower.
Fantastic. Here in San Diego, California. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.